So Luke, it's a frustrating draw, that really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've controlled the game today. Whether that's down to their tactics and how they wanted to defend against us, I don't know. But we felt very comfortable. The first half was probably the most dominant first half I've seen. Definitely the most dominant first half we've had. And we were disappointed, if you like, that we conceded a goal. Quite a sloppy one. So yeah, it's a bit frustrating, but it's another good performance, and that's all we can keep doing. Again, we got players missing for whatever reasons, legitimate good reasons, but they're missing, and we're managing with the squad that we've got to keep putting in good performances. Everyone that comes in, whatever position they're playing and they're asked to do, we've got a lot of versatility, and they're coming in and doing a good job with it. Yeah,
because I mean, before the game, you're thinking, their second point is a great result, and I'm sat here thinking, yeah, it is a good. But after that game, I'm sat there thinking, we were the only team that played football, and we could have won that. Not easily necessarily, but we should have had chances to win it, and just how we didn't, I don't know.
I thought the football was brilliant. We came away from Glebe, and we've worked on how we want to play a lot. We've worked specifically in terms of movements, angles, positions, and how we're going to move the ball. And look, it's a new squad, it's a new system, new ideas. It takes time, as we keep saying, but the players have been so receptive of it. What then happens is sometimes you get taken over in a game with emotion or concentration, or you just get so involved in a game that it doesn't always work. So Glebe, I thought we were very good on the ball again. Obviously they were in the lead, they sat off a little bit and said, "God, break us down." We did in patches, we didn't. We were looking for openings, so we've gone through that. We kind of sent to the players the first 20 minutes of the Glebe game and said, you know, you just fire me your thoughts on what you can see, because we weren't great, if I'm honest. We were okay, but they've all come back with so much, and to be fair to them, if that's been a catalyst for them to see it on the pitch and do it today, then it's been brilliant. You know, the combinations that we've been able to play from back to front, patience was massive. So the football's really starting to come out. Yeah,
I think that's the good thing to see, because there's a plan there, and the guys are getting used to it and playing. We played all the football. I mean, that's no disrespect them, but they're a big team, and they play to their strengths, which is lump it and bang.
Yeah.
And we could have quite easily been beaten up by that, but we just kept our game, played football, and nullified them.
They've risen to the physicality of it. We had maybe a couple of instances. I wouldn't say a couple of games, a couple of instances where maybe a little bit naive, but I think, like we said, Stansfeld, we've grown up a little bit. Like, it was a real good performance. Like, we stood up to them. We're not scared of the physical side. You can come and say you're going to bully us, but I genuinely don't think you will. You know, we've seen that. But also, what I've got to credit the boys with is their decision making. We talk about how we prefer to play, but we talk about reading the game as we're playing it and knowing the other options. If it's not on, then we know what we're doing next, and we make each run and each movement links up to us being able to play short all on. So we're not adverse to doing that if we have to. And there are times today where we've played a little bit more of a direct ball. If a team wants to sleep on us and press and think that they're going to steal the ball off us, then we'll bypass you and we'll play into the gap. So there's a lot of intelligence coming out. I've just got to keep praising the players, really. They've been so receptive, and their observations are just so good on the pitch at the moment.
Yeah, because we were watching that and we're thinking, they are giving us so much in the middle, so much space. But I don't think they were. I think we were just actually pulling them apart and making that space to run into.
It's not an accident. It's stuff that we've talked about, looked at, worked on. So it's not an accident. It's just a case the players are starting to see it for themselves. They're starting to see success in how it works. JP was unbelievable with it at Stansfeld, and it led to the assist for Trev's goal. Actually, we'd worked on it that week. He saw it and he was buzzing with it, and rightly so. And it's just getting consistency and recognising and doing it, because it is a case of breaking old habits, and it's hard to do with senior players at this level, because, you know, everyone says, "Oh, you won't change them at this stage in their career." Well, actually, they're adapting. They're open-minded at minimum, and you can't really ask for a lot more than that.
Yeah, it's like just talking to Robbie and to Jake, and we were saying, you know, they weren't playing when we played Phoenix last time, and we're the same team, but we're a completely different team. It's weird to say, because it's the same basics. It's developed.
It's the basic principles. Everyone that comes in, what we're in a position to do now that we weren't potentially when we first came in, is within recruitment we can look at positional profiling, if you like. We can look at specific requirements that we need to play the position. So then we can kind of go to them, well, okay, you're going to slot into this. Here's our basic principles. Here's the next bit. Now we're here together as a group. This is what you're doing in these situations. Does that work for you? Okay, if not, right, we might have to change it. And we work together. There's open discussions. So,
well, I think that's something because COVID means we haven't had Tommy Smith today.
Yeah, again.
But the defence was brilliant. And when you think this, their number 19 is just
massive.
He's huge. And their other centre forward,
he worked very hard defensively too, but also on the floor, I think he broke through and almost Tibbs made a great save.
Yeah,
that could have easily gone in. He was a good player, and they've dealt with him.
Yeah, but the second half, I think the defence nullified them most of the time, and I bet they don't get that very often because they were good players and they were big, and they played to their strengths.
Yeah, no, we weren't bullied by them. I mean, our backline today wasn't exactly massive, but they stood tall and they weren't pushed over. We were able to play both ends of it. We were able to play the physical game, but we were also able to play our passing game as well.
Well, I think going forward, it's like, okay, the force not very big, but the rest of the defence is brilliant. But crikey, the way that, I'm sure McCready, does he ever actually stop running? Ever?
No,
He's not stood still.
No.
And he just ran at them, and again, just the first half especially, they couldn't handle him.
Yeah. The distances that we're covering as a team are very good at the minute, and with someone like Trev, and Feezy's very good at it as well. When you see it happening in front of you, you then go and do it, then the next person goes and does it, and that's when you start to get a little bit of success defensively. And we talk about triggers. He sets that. He's one of them. If Trev goes, we know to go.
Yeah, because they all do. I mean, it's like we haven't mentioned the wing backs. But I mean, Astle today could have been easily had man of the match. He just never stopped running.
Him and Nods have been covering at least 11 kilometres every game, and we're playing 2 games a week at the moment.
Yeah,
and they're covering massive distances.
And then you get JP comes on, who was playing number 10 and actually just playing wing back, and he was brilliant when he came on.
He's played somewhere.
Yeah.
We edit that one out.
Yeah.
He has though. We've got versatility in the squad. We have. It's hard to explain. I guess in training we go through basic principles, the fundamentals of how we want to play, work in different areas of the pitch. This is the same principle. So a lot of the stuff is transferable. It's just breaking football down into a bit more simple terms. And JP's taking it on really well.
Well, I think it's good because you've got players coming on, and they just slot in wherever you're putting them, and it's brilliant to watch.
It's down to them, right? Yeah. They've been versatile enough, they've been open-minded enough, and they listen and try enough. There's times where they'll turn around to me, I don't think this one works. I think you're wrong on this one. We'll discuss it, assess it. If we'll try the alternative, it either works, doesn't. We find a medium. So it's it's all on them, to be honest.
Yeah, because again, talking to Jake, and he's saying he's loved it today, but like today, he's had such a crack on the head. I bet he doesn't still know what planet he's on, and he just took it down and carried on. And like I say, when he's needed to, he's been brilliant.
Yeah, he's been superb since coming. He's a great lad as well. He fits in really well with the group, and that's played a big part. I think JP said it after the Glebe game. He said that the togetherness in the group and the change room was so good. And when you consider the amount of people that have come in and new, it's credit to them.
I mean, if he's 2 inches bigger, he's got that penalty, and he should have no right to get out. I just think he's brilliant.
Might pump his gloves up, stick some foam in it.
Yeah. But it's even like though we lost against Glebe, you think actually we can see it's still part of a plan.
Glebe was a hard one to swallow.
Yeah.
I know Room very well. We've had chats since. We've had chats before. For a neutral, that was a very, very good game to watch. And both sides played some very good football. Jamie Philpott does what Jamie Philpott does. He's a super striker. We've got Trevor Arwen doing his stuff. I think, personally, I think a draw would have been a fair result based on the flow of the game. We had a lot of the ball for an extent of it. They sat off for obvious reasons. They were in the lead. They didn't need to push. So that was a very good. I think 3-1 was flattering, definitely.
I think you're right because I mean, I was reading a blog by a guy he's a professional blogger, and he wrote it was actually a really good game to watch. Two teams playing really good football, a bit like Stansfield.
Yeah.
But you've still been able to give them 2 footballing teams game, but then come up with a team who, let's be real, it's Route 1, very effectively well organised Route 1. But you've played that and managed them really well.
I've said this a lot. When you go. I don't want to drop names in case it seems disrespectful. there's kind of a stigma around some teams in this league, and there's like, for some reason, wherever it is, there's a little go-to. You go and play against some team, they play long ball, they're physical, we need all our big boys in there. And I sit there and I go, well, if I was going into a fight with Butterbean, one thing's for sure, I'm not going to stand in front of him. What's his weakness? How do I expose that? Well, I'm going to run around him, tire him out. I don't follow that same thing. If we're coming up against a big physical team that might play direct football, well, one thing's for sure, I'm not going to try and play your game. I'm going to make you run around me, and I'm going to try and play it that way. I don't know, but there does, a couple of the boys with one game in particular, we made various selections, and we have conversations with everyone why they're not starting and whatnot, and a couple of them kind of appropriately questioned it. And they were like, yeah, fair play, it's just normally, you'd stick your big lumps on, for example, to play in this type of game. It's like, well, we're not typical, rightly or wrongly, but that's just kind of the way we see it.
Yeah, because I keep saying this, but I think everybody can't wait now for Wednesday. And it's great that the fans are getting behind the team. You can see the team are ready to go.
Well, hopefully, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I personally don't enjoy watching long ball football. I wouldn't want to be I'm not associated. It's not something I'm going to enjoy. I don't want to coach. I don't want to see my team playing that way. I understand the need for results, but I personally believe in, if we progress with the right work, that we'll get results doing it the way we want to do it. But the main thing is that players that are coming here, they've got to be enjoying their football. So hopefully the players are enjoying it. If we're playing nice football, it's nice for the fans, those that are watching, to see it. So they look forward to coming back again. The results have started to turn, touch wood. It's started to turn, hopefully they continue to go that way. As we get more and more players back, more and more players together, we learn about each other, we learn about the system, we learn about how we're playing, the results start to turn.
Yeah, but you're saying, everybody comes here. But going away, it's the same. We don't sort of think, oh, we're away now, we have to nullify the team.
No, absolutely.
And it's great.
We have a game plan, we know how we want to play, but we always use the word adaptable. We've got to learn and adapt to what they're on the how they set up on the field and how the game looks, weather conditions, whatever it might be. And like I said earlier, we'll try and play a certain way, but the movements that we make to play shorter passing football also have secondary movements that allow us to play longer football if that option is shut off. We're not averse to going a bit more directive.